I've kind of wanted to do a quick show where I recommend YouTube channels that I like for a while, both obscure ones and mostly obscure ones, but some well-known ones as well, and introduce some people to some really weird, funny, interesting content. And I also thought it'd be fun to make it interactive, so if anyone has any channels they want to recommend, put it in the comments below and I may check it out and recommend it or talk about it in a future video. And hell, if you want to shamelessly plug your own channel, go right ahead. I'm not going to promise that I'll talk about it, but there's a good chance I will. Anyways, this is just an experiment to see how the first one goes. I'm going to talk about 5 channels per episode if this is an ongoing series, and the 5th recommendation is going to be my biased choice of the day, where I am either going to recommend a channel that I have a nostalgia connection to, or a channel that's run by a friend of mine. Without a further ado, let's begin. First we have Brewster Tunes. This channel only has a couple of videos, but I would say that they're all pretty high quality. It's an animation channel, as the title kind of would suggest, and everything on it is really weird and kind of hilarious. My favorite one is the Goldman. That one really cracks me up. There's a bunch of different styles of animation used in it, and it's all just so bizarre and weird and doesn't really make sense, but doesn't really need to. That would be my first recommendation from the channel. This channel is also associated with another channel called M-Rocks, where they have this little short series called Peck, which I guess I'll just make this a bonus recommendation. This is another animation channel with just a few animations on it, but Peck is fucking hilarious, both the first one and the second one, and apparently there's a third one coming out. Hilarious stuff. I would highly recommend that one too. Next we have 3GI. These are the guys who made Shrek Retold, the more recent Sonic Rebuilt. They do those live action Smash Bros fights where they actually beat the shit out of each other and throw explosives at each other. It's crazy shit. The editing style is one of my favorite things about this channel. The editing just really helps the projects come together. There's also some stylistic things I really like about both Shrek Retold and the Smash Bros videos. They seem to use construction paper for a lot of stuff like credits or their loading screens, and I just really like the aesthetic. I also had the pleasure of being in one of the videos, and I love the way that they altered our clip. Very unique stuff. High recommendation. Next up we have Geno Samuel, who is most popular for his Chris Chan documentary series. It's a comprehensive history, so it really goes into as much detail as possible. There's a lot of channels that have attempted to look at Chris Chan's life, mine included, and I think that Geno Samuel does it the best, and I think what makes it the best is it's a more respectful look, I guess. It feels like a more honest approach. There's not much of his own opinion put into it. He doesn't attach himself as part of the project. He's just the voiceover, and it is an unbiased look at Chris Chan life. He occasionally will make a comment here and there that might be uncalled for, but for the most part, it's a very fair look at the guy's life. It doesn't really look like it's there to harass Christine or anything like that. Geno Samuel also does videos on music, both talking about music and his own music, and I've listened to some of his songs, and it's very enjoyable. I definitely am more in it for the Chris Chan stuff, but I would like to get more into the music stuff, because I do appreciate someone who tries a lot of things out, and again, from what I've heard, it's pretty good, so high recommendation, Geno Samuel.
Okay, let's start off with one from Makal Shadakal.
It's pronounced Makal Shadakal. Next up, we have probably the most mainstream channel I'm going to talk about in this video, and that is Sardonicast. This is the podcast with Your Movie Sucks, I Hate Everything, and Ralph the Movie Maker. I love all 3 of these channels. This was kind of like a dream podcast for me. I was already a fan of all 3 of them before the podcast came out. They are my 3 favorite film discussion channels. I think the only thing that could make it better for me is if Chris Stuckman was a regular on the show rather than just a guest. But still, I really love this show. And instead of doing an individual episode on Adam, Ralph, and Alex, I just thought this would be the best way to mention all 3 of them. It's a podcast where they talk about movies, not even close to a unique idea, but their show, I would say, stands out from others that I've listened to. There's other film discussion podcasts I enjoy, but I wouldn't say any of them come close to how much I enjoyed this show. And there's just like good variety because you got 3 completely different backgrounds. You know, you'll have one episode that discusses a really long, patience-needed art film, and then you'll have an episode where they cover the Madagascar trilogy. It's really enjoyable. It can be very funny and also very insightful, and they don't really seem to be afraid of covering any topic, and I appreciate the show for that too. You know, they talk about life sometimes. They talk about drugs. They talk about death. Most of it's movies, but they can get into some philosophical discussions too, and I enjoy those as well. They also like to make fun of Alex's culture a lot, and that's always fun. And now it's time for my bias pick of the day, which I hope that that's not a huge turnoff from anyone. I'm still only going to recommend channels that I truly enjoy, but I still feel that mentioning it's a biased opinion and it's honest, so that's why I want to do it. I like shouting out my bud's work. So we have KTChamberlain. Kevin, who used to be a cast member on the Rich Alvarez channel, but more so does his own thing now. YouTube is not his main priority by any means, and it does take a while for him to release videos, but he releases video essays that I swear are always like just such original ideas for video essays. He doesn't release them all the time, and that's how you know he genuinely cares about the topics that he talks about. He does other videos too, and he actually has kind of a decent-sized catalog of videos. A lot of them are done on Steven Universe, and if you haven't seen that show or do not care for that show, I would recommend checking out his video, Is This the Face of Jupiter? All you need to know is that SpongeBob episode with the hot sauce and the face on it. I think most of us know that one. It's a really, really bizarre idea for a video essay, and like I said, that's what's so enjoyable about them. It's just, who else would have thought of doing a video essay on that? It's great. And he goes into a lot of detail too. It's not like a joke video. It's just an interesting topic for a video that is very unique to his own channel and his own personality. Also, I did the thumbnails for some of them. Yeah, so that's a thing, right? Kevin is a bit of a history buff. No, not that history buff. And he incorporates a lot of that into his videos as well. And yeah, I think whenever he does make content, it's very standout. I think a lot of the most interesting channels do take a while to release videos, so as long as you're okay with only getting a video every once in a while, I definitely think it's worth checking out. So yeah, that's the first one. I hope you enjoyed it. Please recommend something, even if it's just a really weird channel that has like 2 videos on it. I'm looking for the weirder shit, honestly. And again, if you want to shamelessly plug your own channel, I will look at it. I won't promise I'll talk about it, but I will look at it. I know nobody's like dying for me to talk about their YouTube channel, like who the fuck is this guy? But I just think it'd be a fun interactive thing, and that's why I'm offering it. If there's no takers, then whatever, it'll be a less interactive series, I guess, but I wanted to experiment with the interactive side of it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe, have a good one.